All right, Matty, we're back with the Ask Matty Show. We have a lot of great topics today talking about Cspr in 2034, which is stupid, but we're going to look at it anyways. XRP prediction, BlackRock using XRP in the future, Algorand speculation, and a little talk about Bitcoin conference. But throughout this whole video, out of all of these questions, there is something political involved, and you guys are very interested in the political landscape. I don't think you should be coming to us for that. But I do think it's interesting how you have these crypto political questions. Especially like when I talk to Matty about politics, it's interesting because actually, Matty, why don't you just talk about where your stance is, because I feel like a core value of yours when it relates to politics is crypto. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's definitely a staple in my approach to politics as a whole. And one of the things I always try to focus on is policy, not politicians. Now, of course, some of those politicians will revolve around policy and we still have to have those discussions, but I'm always in the boat of how do we get this moving forward in a way that's helpful to the industry, helpful to consumers, helpful to investors. So for me, it always comes down to policy, and I don't care who creates that policy. In fact, if we're going to be realistic about it, we need all parties, whether we're talking about president, Congress, or both together. We need everyone working collectively together to make that happen. So for me, it's always going to be about policy and not politicians.
Yes, team. So you're going to hear a lot about political stuff today. So if that gets you triggered or whatever, you might need to leave now, because a lot of this is intertwined with crypto today. And so that's what we're going to be going over. Team, before we get into the content though, become a Crypto Charge member. Go down to the comment section and click the pin link, the top pin link, and it'll take you directly to Crypto Charge, cryptocharge.com. That is our website, our educational platform, teaching individuals how to get, buy, sell, trade. You're in a community. There's all those things over there as a one-stop shop. It is taking you back to school, and we are taking you to school and learning about crypto, something that is valuable. So check us out over there. Use code YouTube when signing up. And that is all we have for today. And Matty, I'm really excited to get into these questions, comments, and statements today. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Shaw Hernandez 3524 says, quick Q guys, what will Cspr look like in 2034, in 10 years time? What can you see with it?
That's one of everyone's favorite questions, right? Like, where's Bitcoin going to be in 5 years? Where's Bitcoin going to be in 10 years? And then we want to apply the same thing to altcoins. There's no way of knowing exactly what price we'll see in an exact time period. One of the things we can look at is Fibonacci supported prices. That's one of the main ways that we go about kind of like looking at into the future if we're looking from a cycle standpoint, and cycles can vary in length, right? We've seen shorter cycles, we've seen longer cycles. And one of the things I continue to come back to when we look at the crypto market is this market is still very, very young. We can, of course, look at the clues over the last 10, 13 years, and I'm going to say probably less than 10 because that's how long we've had really this more like wide market with, a lot of marketplaces and a lot of different, assets to choose from. That will change over time, and these cycles will not all be the same length, right? You might have very hyper concentrated cycles, you might have more drawn out cycles. So it's hard to say by this date, this is what the prices can be. Now, what we can look at is some of those extensions that go beyond our 4.236. So, we are looking at maybe a $2 plus Cspr for this cycle. We of course have, suggestions for different ways to layer out different types of scalping opportunities. But one of the long-term things that I look at when I say, all right, what is the potential future of this if I were to look at what candle bodies have done in the past, what the fibs say now. And one of the weird things that we have on the Cspr chart, and this is get changed over time because it's syndicated data and some exchanges have gone down delisted, other ones have added. So some of the data is a little bit skewed, but we have an all-time high on Cspr right around $1.36. Now there are wicks on multiple exchanges that show Cspr initially being listed with very little to no volume actually being done at those prices, upwards in like the $40 to $65 range. So a lot of people get very excited about it. They go, Matt, you're telling me Cspr trading under 3 pennies right now and it could be worth $65? It could, but I don't think that happens all at once, right? You definitely still need a high level of adoption. Cspr needs to continue to deliver cycle after cycle on that. And again, one of my biggest strategies that I have when it comes to especially smaller caps is still taking enormous amounts of profit out of the market at the fibs based on, at those fib levels based on what we see for this cycle being 1.618, 2.618, and 4.236. We also have a plan in there for you guys if you guys want to trim earlier than that and do some rotational plays. But I never want to hold any of these bags in its entirety to some of these hypothetical huge all-time prices, because in 2034 it could be worth that. So could Cspr eventually, if they continue to build and have high level adoption and great partnerships, and they the inflationary rate and the APY continues to be in a good combo there, could we eventually fill that wick? Yeah, sure we could, but I can't promise you that's going to happen by 2034. And anyone tells you they can say for certain this is going to happen by this date and this time, they're absolutely lying to you, because there's absolutely no basis that anyone could ever have to tell you when something is going to happen.
Orlando, the dude that predicted Trump's assassination attempt with creepy close detail months before it happened, has predicted XRP to go to 10K. Just saying.
So, all right. First of all, I like conspiracy theory, guys. I'm not out here oh, I only follow the straight and narrow. I definitely entertain plenty of rabbit holes and plenty of theories about people having some inklings into what potentially could happen. There's also a lot of people out there that throw out a lot of predictions, like we talked about with crypto, and they do this with the macro economy. They do it with hot presidential topics. They do it with a lot of stuff. Now, does that mean that because he's suggested something that kind of happened is also going to be guaranteed happening with XRP? Again, if he knew that to be the case, he wouldn't be telling you guys. He wouldn't tell you guys, hey, it's going to 10K. And also, let's just think about market cap, guys. 100 billion XRP is total supply. $10,000 per coin, quadrillion dollar market cap. It's $100 trillion global GDP right now, guys. So why would you think that XRP goes overnight to 10K? People just pick numbers because they want to become rich. They want to become rich overnight. They go, hey, this is super cheap right now. We're trading at 50, 60 cents. You buy, $1,000 worth and you'll never have to work again. You'll be able to borrow against your XRP. All these giant institutions are going to pay you 25% APY on all your XRP. It's no different than any of the riddles I've been hearing for the last 7 years, when it comes to XRP as a whole. So, I would never plan on something like that. If it goes to 10K XRP, I'll always have some XRP, right? I'll always have a long-term bag rolling. But I'm certainly not going to bet on 10K XRP and not sell each and every cycle to recompound. I'm here to trade. I'm here to invest. I'm not here to believe in fantasy worlds or put any asset up on a pedestal. They're assets, right? Detach your emotion from it.
It's funny because Trump and XRP don't even correlate. So are you insinuating that this guy's from the future? And even so, the Secret Service would be down his neck if he was so on point with this assassination attempt. So Luis says, did you see what BlackRock said? They will indeed use XRP, and they are the big boys. Oh, thank you for letting us know. The ones who are mostly everything, every major stack in many companies.
I mean, I think that's pretty common knowledge that everyone knows that BlackRock owns, at least is a major shareholder in every subsidy that you see when you go to the grocery store, whether it's health products or food. Most of it is owned by BlackRock. So, I mean, I guess that's just kind of a very big blanket and kind of a mundane nothing sandwich statement almost, because it's yeah, great, it's all owned by BlackRock. But that doesn't automatically insinuate that they have to gobble up, enormous amounts of XRP in order to transact. I don't know what you're talking about with what BlackRock said specifically. I keep up with the news when it comes to XRP, absolutely. But we haven't seen an actual filing for XRP. There was a false filing, I want to say several months ago. So maybe even almost 5 or 6 months ago, where we had this entity that filed in Delaware as if they were BlackRock, but that was proven to be bunk and not true at all. And BlackRock had not filed a XRP ETF application. And that's really the only news that we've seen according to, BlackRock having any actual involvement with XRP in itself, right? We haven't seen Larry Fink come out and say this. We haven't heard, the Jamie Dimons come out and say they're going to use XRP. So look, guys, I don't know where you guys get your news from. Stop following these accounts that try to give you all this quote unquote alpha if there's no source, right? Even when I see something online and I see if it looks legitimate, I go and I want to make sure 4 or 5 other sources are saying the exact same thing, right? I don't want to just lean into one source. So guys, always do your own research. Never pile in based on these, again, riddles or, fantasy of, BlackRock is going to save it all and pump price to 10K XRP, even let's say $200 per XRP overnight. Those are just unrealistic expectations, and, you got to be careful out there. There's more misinformation than there is true and real information.
It's kind of funny, Matty, because people overblow these narratives with all this. Crypto on its own will perform just fine, but with these asinine like scenarios you guys pull up, like Trump assassination and like, BlackRock, these things that, have no relation to XRP. You guys love to pull these into XRP community land and, to make price go higher than what it's probably already going to do. $7 here for XRP, right? And you guys want to throw a 10K XRP price, and that's because like isn't a $7? Can't you just be okay with like what fibs show us? Why do you have to add like these crazy narratives that aren't even true to, I guess, what is it, Matty? Push the narrative to others that XRP is legit, or like 10K, like a 10K XRP? Are you serious? Like, who would actually believe that?
Right. That's one of the big things that people look at is they don't think about what market capitalization actually means. So they look at Bitcoin and they go, well, Bitcoin's at, $80,000, but there's also only 21 million XRP, 21 million Bitcoin, where there's 100 billion XRP, right? So you guys have to think about total supply when we talk about price. It's not just so much about utility and value. It has to do with, okay, yeah, if there's utility and value there, that's also dependent on circulating and total supply. Exponentially lesser supply of Bitcoin, so of course you're going to have a much higher price than that. Even with ETH, right? Like much smaller supply. So I want you guys to consider those things when you're looking at price predictions and think to yourself, like, what would the total market have to be? How much money would have to be in this project as a whole to get it there? And is this realistic? Like when we're talking about these numbers being 20-30% of global GDP, like you have to realize that you're off your rocker. Like that's not going to happen.
Jose, expect ALGO to slowly lose its political support after a Trump win on U.S. presidency.
I don't even think that makes any sense at all. Not that I think that either of these presidential candidates truly deep down in their hearts cares about crypto or wants to push it forward. But from the lip service we get right now, we know that Kamala would, most likely continue to back Joe's previous statements about crypto and, be relatively anti-crypto and, slow on regulation. And we have the RNC platform, which is saying that they are very pro-crypto and they want to make sure they protect the right to mine and all these different things. Now, again, do either of these people fully deliver on what they say they're going to deliver on? I don't know, right? They're politicians. They will say anything to get into office. But again, I don't think that ALGO loses political, support, whatever that means, if Trump were to win. When you look at what ALGO's doing right now, in fact, what they're doing is building stablecoin infrastructure for smaller economies. So like smaller islands, doing a lot of pilots in smaller countries and underbanked places. It really has nothing to do with the U.S. political system. Their focus is actually more on international clients right now. And again, these are decentralized protocols, guys. They're not. Donald Trump doesn't get to come in and go, no more algo, you're not doing it, you're not buying another algo. That's not how this works, right? Like Algorand would go on even if the foundation went under today. So you guys have to stop with this stuff. I don't know why you guys get so wound up in these sound bites when that's all they are. They're just sound bites.
Matty, the only thing I could like remotely identify this person's perspective is that this would be a Bitcoiner perspective where you have the idea that like only one asset will win, or like one asset will be the end all be all for encapsulating crypto market. So like the Bitcoiner would say, oh well, Bitcoin supersedes all of their assets, right? And so this could be the only thing. So if Trump does take a more than a just tongue-in-cheek, actually does implement, if there is policy implemented to help Bitcoin and crypto regulation, then I guess his statement would be like, oh, expect, bad news for Algo, but all good news for Bitcoin. He's like, oh, he hasn't talked about Algorand yet, so I guess it's bad news for Algo.
Right. I don't know what to tell you, man. At the end of the day, I can't have any control over, what these, individuals do when they do get into power. I just think about it as, we're all getting on the same plane, whether we want to or not. And that pilot's going to be there. And I just hope that pilot does a good job no matter what. And I do hope that means that we get good, conversations and good regulation and some progress in this industry, no matter, who ends up winning this election. So, again, I don't think that there's a lot of people who automatically assume that even, this win means that the crypto markets tank immediately or the crypto markets fire off immediately. You have to realize that we're already in a situation right now where you have like this rough scenario, like some pushback from Congress, and the crypto markets are doing pretty decently well right now, right? So I want you guys to think about what's already happening now, and that an election season does not immediately impact the crypto markets from a fundamental perspective in the way that you guys think it might.
I guess our last political topic point, Ricky's like, did you hear Kamala is no longer speaking at Bitcoin conference? It's funny, Matty, it's funny how these news pieces come out, because now now Kamala is going to be at the ticket, going to be at the top of the ticket now, and then she like assumingly said some. There was some speculation that she's going to be at Bitcoin conference now, and now literally as of today, as of this comment here today, it's like, oh, now Kamala's backing out. It's like, who cares?
I agree. I say who cares? It wouldn't have made a difference in any capacity. When you look at the position that Kamala's in right now, and again, I'm not voting for either of these individuals, so you guys can save all your comments about which side of the aisle I sit on, because I don't sit on either of these sides. When you look at the position that Kamala's in right now, she has 3.5 months to basically run the hottest and heaviest campaign she possibly can, because she lost all this time that she could have had while they continued the DNC continued to front run Biden as their ticket for DNC. So when you look at issues that would definitely put her in a negative light, right? Being able to go out there talking about crypto, obviously being anti-crypto, probably not being the most educated person in crypto when you look at some of the other attendees there that actually have a very deep understanding of the technology as well as the markets as a whole. It probably isn't a very good PR move for her right now when she has such a short time to get out there and run the hardest and heaviest campaign that she possibly can. So, again, that's just my speculation. We can all, drop in the comments why we think that Kamala is not going to speak at the Bitcoin conference, but I don't think that Bitcoin price was going to be affected in any capacity based on what Kamala did or did not say at a Bitcoin conference.
Matty, I think everything, like, besides like Congress, I think every, like, especially when it comes to the people that have been running for office, the primaries, and now we got our presumptive nominees. We got Trump as a nominee for the Republican Party, and now we got Kamala going to be at the top of the ticket. We have these people now. I don't know if it was confirmed or not, and I'm not going to say it was, but like allegedly, like Kamala's people reached out to Mark Cuban, and I know like some of the Democrats were at the secret roundtable that Cuban was at, and that was hosted by Ro Khanna, the Bitcoin conference in Washington D.C. So like whatever, I think we echoed this on the After Hour show this week, but it's like I think we're heading in the right direction. Is it as fast as we want it to? Absolutely freaking not. But right. I do feel like it's like for crypto at this point, it's like what is happening here is like, okay, are we going to get a Democratic side that's going to be, slow, just like they were? I mean, there was no implementation of crypto regulation, right. And then we got like Gary Gensler. But you have the, RNC panel, you have Trump, you have this side of the aisle, which is now kind of one now, which it didn't used to be. It used to be RNC and Trump, and now it's one. Now they are, they literally put out, and when I say they, I mean Trump on Truth Social, and I mean the RNC panel on their latest report, where they like the stances they are taking, are very vocal about AI and protecting AI, innovation, and then when it relates to crypto regulation. And so you got one that's like, and you got one talking it up. Have we seen anything done yet? No. So that's like, we'll see, Matty. I guess it's all talk right now and kind of like murmurs.
Absolutely. One of the points I try to make is that Trump did have 4 entire years to get something passed or to introduce something meaningful, and he didn't. So, he's definitely changed his stance. If you guys go back and read some of the old literature, you know that he was anti-Bitcoin, anti-crypto. He called a lot of it a scam out to debase the US dollar. And that's changed now. And that's changed from a lip service perspective, in my opinion. So that's why I am very cautious to have enthusiasm about Donald Trump being very, very vocal and making it a main part of his platform to protect AI, to protect crypto, to introduce regulation that helps investors as well as doesn't stuck to some technology. Do I hope with everything in my heart that no matter who wins, that they actually do something meaningful as a bipartisan, approach to get us to a place that is, allowing crypto to be an explosive industry, like, a $20-30 trillion industry. Yeah, 100%. I just hope that you guys can also make the distinction and not just, put any individual on a pedestal that they're going to save the industry. It's also on us to reach out to our Congress people, reach out to our representatives and let them know this is not how we feel. You need to be voting and creating legislation that is helpful to our industry as a whole. So, let's take some responsibility on ourselves as well and not just be in the ballot booths and make a quick vote. Let's be vocal about it.
Sonam Sherpa 6975 leaving that HNT comment on our last video. And as I said, I was like, hey, someone comment HNT Helium in the comment section. We'll do chart it because Matty talked a lot about it on After Hours. So Matty, can you give us a little quick update on Helium today?
Yeah, sure. So I really hope that you guys hopped in the Discord because you guys would have gotten, our limit section there where we were looking to pick up more HNT. I know a lot of my team set the limits where I set limits, which is right around $3.30. We previously saw this was a big support level back here in September of 22. We had a big double top here where we got turned into resistance in February of last year before we had the breakdown, reaccumulation, and breakout. When we had that breakout, I saw that there was a massive imbalance there, right around that $3, $3.30 region. And that was an area of interest where I said, hey, this is where I would suggest you guys go as heavy as possible. I also cranked up my DCA by 25%. So I had my standard DCA, I cranked it up by 25% as we got into those areas where, we were kind of just contending with that, like just sub $3 and $3.30 region. And then we got this huge impulse out of there. So we're trading, almost at $6 now. So we've done almost a 2x here on Helium over the last several days. So the biggest takeaway I want you guys to have from what we talk about here on the show when it comes to technical analysis is not always going to be a perfect science. And you're going to have sometimes some drawdown. I'm not promising you a drawdownless situation. What I'm trying to teach you guys is how to be more tactical with your dollars and have as little drawdown as possible to have the highest probability of having some sort of bounce after support level comes in and being able to have the largest position you possibly can without FOMOing in and just feeling you have to pile into these impulses. Now that HNT is up 2x, would I suggest to you to big limit buy HNT right now? Absolutely not. Zcash moving from $16 to $30 is now the time to do a lump sum buy at Zcash. Probably not. Now, there are, again, going to be opportunities where we can look for higher lows, and you guys can join in the Discord. I'm constantly, giving updates in there. We're doing updates Monday through Friday on the show, showing you guys what we're looking at, some of the even smaller areas of interest on like smaller time frames and whatnot. And it really doesn't have to be super complicated. So if this is the kind of stuff you're looking for, where we don't, overcomplicate it, we look at more higher time frames, give you guys really good liquid buying opportunities that you guys can choose to capitalize on. Check us out at CryptoStars.com. That code YouTube does get you 50% off any membership. So it comes out to $49 a month or $4.99 for the year. And either one of those comes with a 30-day free trial. So at any point, you're like, hey, day 29, thanks so much, bro. Cool program, but it's not for me. Whatever, no problem. Just shoot us an email. We'll get you canceled up. That'll give you enough time to explore everything we have to offer and decide if it's a good fit for you.
Good stuff there, Matty. Team, if you've noticed, since day one, since episode 1 of Ask Matty show, things have changed. We've talked a lot about different cryptos here, Matt, but it's funny now because we're at a point, what month are we in? July 2024, where it's like, hey guys, these prices are getting a little bit expensive. The risk to reward ratio doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And that is if you haven't caught on to some of the last shows now, thinking retrospectively, that is happening. Now there are great buying opportunities across the board that we've talked about, Cspr and even you were talking about Zcash right now, Matty. Is it a terrible idea to lump sum invest right now? Probably, just because of where we were just at. Where were you? What were you doing? So it's but is it still under our guides of the 23.6 Fibonacci? Yes, but it's what were you doing all this time? When we saw, was it an $18 Zcash? So what were you doing?
18, 20. There was a lot of opportunity down there to scoop it up, and there's a lot of pessimism, and even in our own group, which I always encourage you guys to do. I always encourage you guys to ask is this the right decision? You should be asking yourselves that, but there were a lot of people in our group that were just very contrarian, got down with it. Yeah. We're these are stupid good prices. These are multi-year lows. I'm capitalizing on this. They lower their averages significantly, and they're very, very happy with it. So I don't want you guys to think that there isn't time to get involved with Zcash still. You still can look for the higher lows, and we're identifying those on a regular basis for you guys. If you guys are new, or you didn't build a position, or you want to add to it, we're going to help you guys identify those areas on the way up. But after you see big sets of impulses like this, I know it gives you guys a lot of FOMO. You have to do everything in your being to avoid that. Set limits and be patient. Like we just gave with the helium example here. If you weren't patient and you saw those impulses, you could have been buying helium at $9 or $10 or $11, and you would have had to see an enormous depreciation versus saying, all right, I'm going to scale in here. We had our first entry right around the high 4s, and then we had our second entry at the low 3s. So we ended up giving ourselves a really good average by layering in and being patient. So that's what we're also trying to teach you guys with our program, is to be patient, be picky, and it doesn't always have to be an all in or all out thing.
The last thing I'll say, Matty, just because I just thought about it right now, since we have so much batch content here, and if you are a Crypto Charge member, I want you to go back to last bull run when I think Matty was charting every show every single day, Monday through Friday, and I want you to go back in those charting sessions and listen to what he was saying, because a lot of the times he was looking on pullbacks, he was looking for areas to enter to get a 2 to 6 to 10x, and he would display, is this a worthy risk to reward ratio? But what you'll realize during that time is that you had to have a game plan to sell, because if you didn't, you would have got eaten up like a bunch of people got eaten up on AVAX, right? You were buying into those big impulses, and then you enter a bear market, and now you're sitting deep underwater. Moon River, so you have all these altcoins that took place there. And so go back during that time, and I want to hear some of your guys' thoughts, because that is like, you have to think about, if you are not aggressive now with your DCA, if you're not aggressive with like picking up a bunch of Cspr and staking it right now, there will be a moment where, it's going to be so expensive. You're going to see expensive Cspr prices. You're going to see expensive Zcash prices, XRP prices. And it is going to be like, you're going to be buying into a $3 XRP or a $7 XRP. You're going to be trying to sell at those prices for us, while you guys are going to be trying to buy those, and then you're going to have to end up swing trading those. Do you understand how difficult that is? If you don't understand how difficult that is, just go back into some of the shows from 2021, 2022, and listen to the messaging there, because you will go through that in the future, near term, within the next 1 to 2 years from now. So, team, that's all we have for today. A little bit of motivation, a little bit, I don't want to, fear monger here, get you all like uptight, but this is the reality of things, right? You have to be strategic and you have to be smart in these times. If you got something valuable here, make sure you leave a like, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.